Cafe Anywhere.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Zode 1121. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today it's Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer, plus the return of the very informative segment and the fun segment known as the MARKO Minute.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And we have lots of interesting things to talk about today, so why don't we jump in it?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Well, there is an interesting thing because the Brexit hit the fan, and now we live in Trump land or xenophobia land or something. There's a lot of confusion because England has decided to leave the European Union, and they said no more immigrants.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
We want to live in our own country and not have to deal with the stupid French or the stupid Germans.
Mike's
So let's just
Daily
eat our crumpets.
Podcast.
What the hell is a crumpet anyway?
Yeah!
I don't know. But yeah, that was the big news today that, well, apparently stocks, we're in a weird zone with stocks because there was a lot of uncertainty. Yeah. It's all, you know, what's going to happen? What's going to do, what, who, how, and all that. I was shocked when I heard the news because I thought, there's no way England's going to want to leave the Union. Oh, they wanted to leave the Union. And then Cameron's like, I'm out of here in September. Screw you guys. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go to America and hang out where the people aren't oh wait, Trump supporters everywhere. Never mind. And Trump happened to be in England at the time, and he's like, this shows that what I was saying from the beginning is true. We gotta keep the Muslims out. So we'll see what goes on. Meanwhile, stocks for Apple dove, and Netflix dove, even though they're not really that connected to England, so who knows. I would sure love it if somebody walked in right now, because I don't have anything else to, except I was going to go to Costco yesterday, and on my way to Costco, oh, look who just walked in.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the shop supervisor. What am I going to do now that the Brexit happened?
What do you mean?
I have all these wonderful snow globes from England, and now I can't sell them.
Yes, you can. There doesn't mean that England has changed, it's changed from yesterday, as far as like now they're not going to be part of the European Union, but still, dude.
But what do I do with all my snow globes?
Anyway, what happened was I was going to go to Costco and buy things in bulk, as you do in Costco. And I haven't been there in months, so I'm like, I need to use this, especially with all the Costco stuff that went down this week with the changing of credit cards and everything. But then I said, no, I shall not. And I made a left turn and I went up this road. Takes me through this little area called Columbia. It's in Podcastro Valley. Oh, look who else just walked in. Hello, Mike, it's Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere the engineer. Please go on with your story about Columbia. Was there cocaine? No, there was no cocaine. Not that I saw anyway. No, Columbia is this really nice HOA, pool, nice park, big, I'm sure they pay big fees to be there, nice houses, and it's up on the, houses scare me, up on the top of this hill, so they got kind of a view of the bay and of Podcastro Valley, but at the very, very, very top, and you wouldn't even know it unless you have lived and walked around there a long time, there's a path that goes over to an East Bay Regional Park District owned park. They own a lot of parks. I talked to a lady, actually, I was over at Kaiser, which is close to where I work. And this Kaiser in Fremont does a farmer's market on Thursdays. So yesterday I checked it out, and East Bay Regional Park District had a booth set up, and there was a nice lady there who had been, I guess, volunteering for them for like 20 years, so she knew everything about East Bay Regional Parks. And she's like, oh yeah, we have some insane amount of parks that we, oversee. And I said, yeah, and I gave you guys $300 because my dog was off leash, and I thought he could be off leash, and he wasn't supposed to be in this one area, and I got fined by the police. But I didn't tell her that, actually, because she seemed like a nice lady, and I didn't want to pull her into my woes. So she said, wait, that was about all she said. So forget her. Screw her. You know what happened next, though, was later on in the day, I took my dog up to this place in Columbia where you can walk. Nobody knows this place. And you walk, and God damn it, my throat. Why is my voice all of a sudden doing this? It's like I got old man's. And then suddenly you fall off a cliff and you die. The end. No, it's a nice path, and you can go way back there into the hills of Podcaster Valley. Oh, it's wonderful. Nobody was around until I was coming back. I ran into a couple kids. But, the three of us were the only ones that knew about this path. It's great. There were some horses. Basil got to meet some horses. They were very friendly. We approached the horses from the front. Never approach a horse from the back. Bad things can happen. And the horse sniffed Basil, and then Basil said, okay, let's go. And then we left. And it was a wonderful moment. It was a meeting of the animals, and it was peaceful. And we can learn a lot about life that way, accepting one another. It's Pride this weekend. I won't be able to make it to the parade in San Francisco. I certainly won't be able to make it to the one in New York, because that would cost a lot of money, and that's not possible for me. So, yeah, Pride's going on. Are you guys going to go? Mike, we're always at Pride. Yes, we are on every single float. Amazing. They're on every single float. Chely, you going to go to Pride?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm going to try and sell my snow globe.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of people are going to want to buy the British snow globes after what happened. And that's about the end of the show, really. You could feel it, couldn't you? It was coming to an abrupt halt, and it just did. And it's done, and we're done. MikeStaleyPodcast.com is a wonderful website. Go there, check out all the past podcast pictures and all the past shows. And you can help us out through the Amazon link. Click on that and buy whatever it is you're going to buy, and that helps us out tremendously. And it doesn't change the way that you shop. There's also a PayPal if you want to help donate to the show. You'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters. And speaking of the podcast picture...
And here's today's podcast picture.
I was recently at the Santa Cruz Boardwalk, and there's the wonderful log ride. And I took a picture of it, because I love that log ride. What's interesting about it is it's not one of these log rides where, you go up a hill and then you're like, there's all these fake lumber mills around you to make you feel like you're actually in a log jam. The one in Knott's Berry Farm in Southern California does that, and I love that ride. And then there's what's that called? Splash Mountain that kind of does that. You're kind of riding a log thing, aren't you? And then there's the one in Santa Cruz where all it does is it lifts you up onto these stilts, and like I was describing in a previous show, it's like you're floating on a stream in the sky. Picture yourself on a boat on a river high above everybody, and you see the big Santa Cruz Lagoon that's next to the boardwalk, and it's so much fun. And I got so excited, and you're coming up to the dip, and they always have a kid up there that watches you, that doesn't make sure you doesn't do anything crazy. And I'm going into old man voice again. Oh God! So they make sure as you're falling down on this waterfall that you don't do anything nutty. And a little kid is sitting there going, "Hey, having fun?" And you go, "Sure." And I said to the kid before I went down the flume, the descending flume part, the big fun part where you get splashed, I go, "I haven't been on this ride since I was 7. I'm so excited," because I was on my own log. And she said, "Smile for the cameras." And yeah, they take a picture of you and you can buy that at the end, which I didn't do in time. The picture disappeared. I was like, oh yeah, I need to go check my picture. And you got to go to those booths like instantly. Otherwise, because they have so many people going through and then your picture's gone. Never to be seen again. I sure hope you know what I was talking about there. It's an amusement park problem. It's first world problems in the amusement park. So that's all there at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. That picture and everything. The whole world is there at the website. So check it out. I know you're fascinated. All right, let's get to the special segment called the Marko Minute with Marko.
Marko Minute.
How are you today, Marko?
I'm doing good, Mike. How about you?
Good. We haven't talked in a while. Done a new Marko Minute.
Right? It's Friday now. It's is that okay to say it's Friday, or do you do with these podcasts?
No, people know pretty much what day I do it.
Cool.
So yeah,
good.
it's Friday.
It's Friday. The weekend's upon us. Who cannot not be happy about that? Come on.
If you're listening to this on Monday, it's Friday again. Yay! You're not you're not sad. You're
Exactly.
happy because it's Friday again. But this past Monday sucked.
Yes. It really just majorly sucked. Sucked to the infinity power. Sucked because the Warriors lost the NBA Finals after being up 3-1. No team had ever come back in 32 other attempts. So the Warriors go down in history as having that. They go down in history as being the 73-9 record, best regular season ever to not win a championship. And
Wow.
I just have not come to terms with that. I mean, I'm still in my denial stage.
Yeah.
And then once I get over that, it's going to be angry throwing fit stage where I just like destroy property and I don't know. I can't fathom that right now that they lost the finals to LeBron James and the Cavaliers. I can't believe it. I don't want to believe it.
And you're not a fan of LeBron.
I'm not a fan of him, especially when he gets away with everything. He gets away with fouls. He gets away with traveling, double dribbling, and he cries every time they call a foul against Cleveland, which was rare and hardly ever. So I don't respect the guy, not at all.
Wow. So now that's done.
Yeah. So now that's over. So I've had my heart broken twice in 1 week. From the Sharks, and then the Warriors. So all within 7-day period, and then they were both happened on Sunday. So these past 2 Sundays have sucked. I hope this Sunday is much better because I can't handle another one like that.
And then I was shocked today to hear about Brexit, that England actually voted to get out of the European Union.
Yeah, what's up with that? Why are they doing that? Does anyone know why?
They really don't like immigrants coming into their country, and the European Union also they're like really big about, they kept their pound and all their money, what do they call it, the
pound, right?
The pound and I watch so much freaking British TV shows and I can't think.
Mike, come on.
Darn it. All their money,
basically.
I keep wanting to say tuppence, but that's not. Their Pfennig? No, that was German. Anyway, yeah, all their damn money. They're dollars, basically, but the British way. So anyway, there's all kinds of things. Some people think it's part of they're having a Trump movement over there.
Really?
In fact, Trump was over there when it happened, so.
Wow. Interesting.
Do you watch soccer?
I love soccer. I've been watching nothing but the European Championships, which is going on in France right now. And I've also been watching the Copa America, which unfortunately, this great country, the United States, just got an educational butt whipping to them by the great Argentina, the land of fine, beautiful steaks and Malbec wine. And they have the best player in the world, Messi, who just made them look like actually a peewee team. I mean, that's how bad it was. Argentina killed the United States in the semifinal just the other day, 4-0, and it could have been worse. It should have been worse. But again, it just goes to show you how far USA soccer needs to come in order to really play with the big boys. And the big boys are guys like Argentina, Germany, Spain, Brazil, those guys. So when it comes to soccer, those are the powerhouses.
Is our soccer team then full of big soccer players from all the teams around the U.S.?
The majority of the squad is based on MLS players, which is the professional league here in the United States. We do have a few international stars. Well, I don't say stars, but players who are playing internationally. But the majority, I would say about 80% of the team is made up of homegrown talent here in the MLS in the United States, which goes to show you that league still has a long way to go too in order to compete with like the big leagues like the English Premier League, the Bundesliga in Germany, the Spanish leagues, and even the Italian leagues and French leagues. So, but it's only 20 years old. This league, MLS, it's got a ways to go. It still has lots of room to grow, and I think in another 20 years, I think it'll be up there. I hope so. I'm hoping it will be, but we'll see.
I dated a girl in the year 2015 that I met on OkCupid that was a huge San Jose Quakes fan.
Oh, cool.
So I went to many games.
Nice.
Don't they have their own stadium now?
They have their new stadium. It's called the Via Stadium, named after that Via corporation. I think they make some kind of like superconductors, or I don't know. They do something techie here in Silicon Valley. But it opened last year. Actually, it's the second year it's in, and they're actually hosting the MLS All-Star Game this year in July. So next month, all the best MLS players. And the way the MLS does the format is they get all their best players on one team, and then they play an international team, like someone from like England or someone from Europe, and they play against each other. So you get a lot of the fans who like those players who watch the English Premier League or what have you, and you bring them together against the MLS players, best players, and it's usually a pretty competitive game actually. So. That's going to be here in San Jose at the Via Stadium.
That's that big stadium next to the airport?
Yes.
In San Jose?
It's not that big. It's 18,000 seats, but it's a really nice stadium. And the big thing about that is that it's known for having the world's largest outdoor bar. And yes, there's this huge bar right behind I think it's the South Goal, and it's about, I don't know, maybe 1,000 feet long, and it just goes all the way around, and it's really awesome. It's pretty cool, and there's so many bartenders there that you're only waiting no more than 5 minutes to get a drink.
That's longer
really cool.
than
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, it's pretty cool. But they have a tons of interactive stuff for the kids. It's a nice place to actually go watch a game. And they host other events. They've had a couple of rugby games down there. They've had other non-Quake soccer matches. I think they're going to have a couple of concerts later on. But yeah, it's a cool little stadium we have here in San Jose.
Wow. I saw a lot of soccer with her.
Did that bore the hell out of you, Mike, having to watch all that soccer?
Yeah, and after watching all those games, I still kind of don't understand it completely. Like, right. I don't understand the offsides thing.
Okay, so like offsides is basically where whoever's the last person playing defense, the offensive player has to be even with them or behind them before the ball is played in his direction. So in other words, let's say me and you are you're defending me, and I got to be either right next to you or a little bit behind you when my offensive player is going to try to kick the ball over to me. Now, if I go ahead of you before the ball is played over to where I'm at, that's called offsides. Oh. So in other words, it prevents people from having an advantage, like toward the goalie or whatever. Oh. Yeah. So that's what the whole offsides rule is. So you have to be even parallel with the last defender in order to play to keep the play onside. So it's one of those things. It's one of those sports. I try to explain sports to people, especially like baseball. But it's one of those you have to see it in order to get it, or you have to play it in order to get it. I can explain. It's like trying to explain the Pythagorean theorem or whatever that thing's called, or any kind of geometry to me. It's like I'm not going to get it unless I'm like doing it. So
the Pythagorean theorem.
I can't even say that word.
Pythagorean. What is the?
I don't even know.
Is that the that all the sides of a triangle add up to, if you add up all their degrees, adds up to 1 or 360?
Something like that.
Like a circle?
I don't know. See, I failed geometry. Well, I didn't fail geometry. I copied enough to get a D in geometry, and then, So you can tell I didn't like that subject.
But I think I understand soccer now. That's
good. Well, I mean, soccer's not really a hard sport to to understand. I mean, there is some tangents and rules and nuances that you have to know about it, but really anyone can kind of pick it up just by watching it. And then the best thing to do is watch it in Spanish, because if you watch it in Spanish, you won't even have to care about who's winning or the rules, because those guys get so excited and they go so over the top on just a littlest play.
Yeah.
Like the guy can dribble it and kick it like 30 yards over the goal, and it's like, and it's like, well, the guy just kicked the ball 30 yards over the goal. But to those guys, it's the biggest play of the year, and I just love that over the topness. They get so into it. Where I can't watch soccer in English, especially when it's British English, because those guys are so boring.
Yeah.
Oh, very smashing indeed. Tally ho. Oh, yes, very good goal. Spanish guys are like, oh, screaming it for like 10 minutes long, and it's just, I love that. It's so over the top. It's fantastic.
We need one of those soccer announcers for like life.
Yes.
When you're parking your car. He parked his car in Santo Domingo.
Yeah. Go! That'd be awesome, right?
And then finally, baseball.
Yes.
What's going on?
The Giants are on fire right now. They've won their last 11 out of 12 games. They won 6-1 in their past road trip against Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. They come back home now to face the Philadelphia Phillies, who aren't that good of a team. And then after that, next week coming up, they play 4 against the Oakland A's, who are a pathetic team. 2 in San Francisco and 2 in Oakland. It's kind of the Bay Bridge series thing that they do now. And that showed that, the Giants are actually continue their winning ways, while the A's, they need a lot of help. I mean, they're a team that just, there's no chemistry in that team, and there's not that much talent on that team, and that's why they're in last place, like 15 or 16 games out, where the Giants are in first place because they do have a lot of talent, and they do have a good chemistry together. So for Barry baseball, yay Giants, because they're doing well, and or nay for the A's because they're doing horrible. So that's what's going on in baseball right now.
And that's why beer at the A's game is so cheap compared to
compared to AT&T Park. Yeah, exactly. I think you can get a beer there for like $7 at the Coliseum, and at AT&T Park it's at least, I think, 12.
Yeah, and that's the price of beer at the fair too.
Seriously?
The fair going on, the Alameda County Fair, it's like $12-13.
Well, how much are you getting for that? You please tell me it's at least 20 ounces of beer for that price.
I didn't see the actual cup. But yeah, you're right. It should be a lot of beer.
I mean, for that much, that's ridiculous. That's why I don't even like going to those places and drinking, because it's like, can I take out a loan, please?
Yeah.
Why? I want to buy 2 beers at a fair.
$6 for a lemonade, but you get to keep the cup, and the cup is like one of these cups you'll never use again, but it's got like it says the fair on it, and all
right.
that. And you get free refills with the cup, but the lemonade, but not the beer.
Right, exactly. I know. It's like, who keeps those souvenir cups? You see them all around.